Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the FPHL Simulated Playoffs on the Under Review YouTube channel. Casey Bryant here, bringing you exclusive live coverage of tonight's game, Game 3, between the Carolina Thunderbirds and Port Huron Prowlers. The rules tonight, very simple. The winner gets a date with New York. One game apiece on each side. Both sides got blown out on the road. Game 1 was a 7-1 victory for the Carolina Thunderbirds, easy as they come. Game 2, well, flip the script. A 5-1 victory for the Port Huron Prowlers out in Michigan. Will the home squad remain undefeated in the series, or will Port Huron be able to shock the Thunderbirds and make the Commissioner's Cup final? Carolina trying to make their second consecutive Commissioner's Cup final. Last year they had a date with Elmira. Elmira right now currently locked and heading to a Game 3 with the Watertown Wolves. We await the result of that, and we give a special shout out to the broadcaster over in that series, Zach McGinnis. Thank you very much for the Etch-a-Sketch and chocolate bar care package, Zach. I'll be sure to send something over that you will enjoy as well. Perhaps a subscription to Netflix so that you can enjoy all the talkies that are out. Yes, moving pictures have sound with them now, so perhaps you can go check that out, Zach. Anyway, I digress. We're getting set for Game 3 now. We're going to turn you over to Winston-Salem at the Fairgrounds Annex, where the Carolina Thunderbirds will play host to the Port Huron Prowlers. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Do or die time here in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, as the Thunderbirds and Port Huron Prowlers square off for a winner-take-all Game 3. Who will be taking on the upstate New York team of choice? Well, that remains to be seen, as Chris Paulin will patrol the crease for the Port Huron Prowlers, countered, of course, by Christian Pavlos. Both netminders have traded solid performances. Pavlos was near unbeatable in Game 1 right here in Carolina. Paulin was unusually porous in that particular contest. In Game 2, then, Paulin was able to lock things down for the Port Huron Prowlers, and they were able to skate away with a 5-1 victory. Pavlos looked uncharacteristically shaky in the early goings of Game 2. How will this one unfold? The first shot on goal is stopped by Pavlos 40 seconds into the game. The Thunderbirds will be skating from right to left on your YouTube screen, wearing their traditional home reds with white and black trim. Meanwhile, Port Huron will be wearing their road whites with red and black striping up and down their sleeves. Dalton J. and Michael Bunn in the face-off dot. It is one back to the blue line where Contrado gets it to the slot. Back out to Young, feeds Contrado. Young has it knocked off of his stick by Jan Salak, who had himself a hat trick in Game 1 of this series. Salak is run into by Federley, looking to wire it down low for Graham. Can't connect with him, but Graham is able to regain possession. Grant forced to the boards by Salak. Vlasov also there providing support. Dalton J. running to the boards. Fate digs it out, taken away by Contrado. Shot attempt blocked. Krivolovic holds now, gets it up to Vlasov, and the Thunderbirds are able to escape for their first offensive zone time. Here's Bunn looking to the net, blocked. Here's Graham now on the right wing, taking it the opposite direction for the Port Huron Prowlers. Spins away from a defender. Back out to Graham in the slot. Carolina sending multiple puck defenders towards the carrier. They're trying to swarm and provide a lot of pressure and smother, really, the Port Huron Prowlers once they get into the attacking zone. Similar strategy being employed here for Port Huron, and that leaves a man open at the point, and a rebound is kept alive at the near side post. Here's Martin. Here's Batita now, near side midboards. Batita plays pitch and catch with Bakhor. Taken away, Nippard skates up the ice on the right wing. Nippard waiting for reinforcements. He's got one behind him in the form of Larry Vartiainen. Taken away by Cangelosi, who turns around and heads up ice. Very back and forth contest so far, keeping the puck alive. Not a whole lot of stoppages. Up to Robertson. Robertson to Zolkanich, back to Robertson. Shot blocked. A lot of bodies in the shooting lanes right now. Neither team wants the dam to break first. Parsons. Up to Robertson on the left wing. Robertson charging ahead. He's got one man beat. Can he beat the second? His shot blocker saved Pavlov's. Not the best of angles, but at least that shot got through to the netminder. Carolina has blocked a couple of shots already in the early goings. Angelosi stops, gets it back to Pastuca. Pastuca for a one-timer, blocked in front. Osaka to Kenny to Pastuca, back to Kenny, winding, firing, blocked with the stick. Now a rush opportunity for Port Huron the other way, as very continuous action here as Robertson Feeds it down low, a shot covered up by Pavlos, and he holds. It was Portillo that was down low in front. He was waiting for the pass. He got it. He just barely got the tip of his stick on that one, and Pavlos was able to squeeze the pads together. Both faceoffs since the initial one have been in the Carolina zone. Carolina would like to be able to sustain a bit more time, and well, this won't be it, as Carolina will visit the sin bin. Bit of a stutter step start for the Carolina Thunderbirds as a slash will be called, and they will be shorthanded for 2 minutes. As we take another look, as he went chopping at Stoya, George Holt will visit the penalty box. So it'll be Jay, Graham, and Federley out for the Port Huron Prowlers. Parsons, high slot, shot blocked. Salah trying to force it out into the neutral zone. He does. Joe Pace will hold, gets it over to Parsons. Now over to Federley on the right side. Centering pass, intercepted, taken by Osaka, who will wind and clear it down the length of the ice. Joe Pace takes a check, gets it out to Parsons. Port Huron maneuvering their way up the ice. Federley, sharp angle try, blockered out by Pavlos. And Joe Pace unable to hold the blue line, and the Prowlers will be forced out into the neutral zone, and we get a stop. 55 seconds to go in the power play, 9:39 to go in the period. Good early pressure here from Port Huron. They were unable to get this kind of pressure in Game 1 on the road. It has been a home-dominated series in every sense. And this is already more pressure in the first period than really Port Huron got for the entirety of Game 1 here in Carolina. Contrato taking a step in, backhander. Pavlos doesn't know where it is. He's down, kept alive now in the slot. Portillo out to the point, Pace. Robertson steps in. Has a body in front, sending a screen. Portillo in the slot, back out to the point. Looking down low, Contrato. For the one-time shot save, Pavlos, and he covers the rebound. We're back to 5-on-5 as take a look at the leaders in hits, and Fate, unsurprisingly, at the top there. Is Fate one of the biggest bodies on this Carolina team, and not only does he dole out a bunch of hits, he blocks a bunch of shots in this simulation as well. He just has to get himself in the right area and let the rest of the size of his body do the work. Scrum along the near side boards. Digging out 2 Thunderbirds, forcing the puck out into the neutral zone, but great job by Sokol to keep possession of the puck. What a terrific play there by Sokol. Centering pass saved by Pavlos. Giuliano got a stick on it. That was a leg pad save by Pavlos. Keeping it alive. Here's Parsons to Fowler. Vartianen high slot to Parsons. Port Huron keeping the puck moving. Crowd getting a bit restless. Long shot. Kick save Pavlos. Rebound. Stuff in try at the far side post. Turned out. 6 minutes to go here in this first period, and it's been all Port Huron. Parsons to Fowler. Down low. Sokol back to the net. Forced to retreat. Looking for Fowler in the slot. Fanned on the shot attempt. Vartianen takes a check. Knocked off the puck briefly. Still feeds the one-timer. Stopped by Pavlos. Arnott takes a check. Now the puck is taken away from him, and Batita is finally able to escape the defensive zone. Batita, long shot, kick save Pavlos. 4:15 to go in the first period. Carolina finally able to get some offensive zone time after an extended period stuck in their own end. Here's Nipper, kept in by Fate, back to his feet. Holt to Grebennikov, his shot, change-up, gets into the padding of Paulin, and he holds. Grebennikov's shot went off of the defensive stick of a Port Huron player, and that deflected up into his padding, but we take a look at the shooting gallery that Pavlos was able to fight his way through. Tested early, and he's sharp. Grebennikov and Nippert in the faceoff dot to the left of Paulin. Grebennikov pushes the man forward. Holt, who took the penalty earlier in the game, got out to Fate. Redirection, they score! Redirection in front of Paulin, and the Thunderbirds take a 1-0 lead. Yes, indeed, it's Victor Grebennikov. And how's this for a response? Grebennikov is left unmarked in front of the net, gets his stick out. He's waiting for the redirection after the shot from Fate at the point. And after 15 minutes of complete control for the Port Huron Prowlers, these last 2 minutes, Carolina is able to take it down, and that's how opportunistic and efficient this Carolina team is. They really only get one long shift in the offensive zone, and they make it count. 2.5 to go here in the first, and Port Huron trails now by 1. What a frustrating turn of events for the Port Huron Prowlers. Well, the grind line gets it done for Carolina as Grebennikov was out there. He won the face-off and then was able to get himself to the right area in front of the net. Face-off in front of the Port Huron bench. Carried in on the left side. Here's Kenny. Out to Krivolovic, to Pastuka, to Kenny. Salak in the slot, back pass for Kenny, who chips it along the boards. Krivolovic back to the net. Ambles backwards now to Bunn, tries to do a give and go with Krivolovic. Pass broken up and taken away by Port Huron. Waning seconds of the first period to Federley. Federley, sharp angle try, goes high and wide, finds nothing but glass. 15 seconds. Young down low. Federley backhander stymied. 5 seconds. One last chance here for the Prowlers. To Young. Slapper blocked in front. Rebound loose. Time will expire. Carolina leads 1-0 in a helter-skelter first period. They're able to escape by the skin of their teeth, really, as Port Huron had a handful of chances. Several of them were high danger, but Christian Pavlos has been the difference maker, keeping the Thunderbirds on top. You're watching Game 3 of the Western Division Final on the FPHL Simulated Playoff on the under-reviewed YouTube channel. Don't go anywhere. Winston-Salem is eagerly awaiting a berth for a second straight Commissioner's Cup final. 40 minutes right now separate the Carolina Thunderbirds from a Western Division title. Port Huron trying to spoil this home Game 3. Young to Federley, broken up by Salak. Carried ahead on the left side, here's Bunn. Bunn squares to the net, glove save, Paul, and then he holds. Well, what a back and forth year this has been, and what a back and forth series this has been for Port Huron and for Carolina. Port Huron never really got a clear look at Carolina in the regular season. They only played 2 games. It was in the later goings of the season, and Carolina was able to easily skate away with 2 home victories, which they outscored the Port Huron Prowlers in that process 11-4 in those 2 games, but at the time of the suspension of the season, they were getting ready for a 3-game set out in Michigan. That would have been a really good indicator of the postseason. It's one of those series where you can kind of look and go, what could have been? Port Huron had a 3-game chance. They might have been able to take 1, if not 2 games at home against Carolina because these teams are so evenly matched. It's the kind of high speed, high octane, really, forward unit that Port Huron has. And they do have a couple of blue liners that move the puck so well, too. And that's the difference. The really good teams are able to move the puck at the blue line, as there's a shot that's a kick save by Paulin, kept alive at the far side post. There's another one-timer that's stopped by Paulin. Any team at the top has blue liners that can move the puck. It's the lower level teams that don't really have any threats at the blue line. But you take a look around the league, Watertown has Kyle Powell, who is an incredible puck mover from the blue line. Elmira has Cameron Yarwood, who's a terrific blue liner, and Glenn Patterson. Danbury has the likes of Aaron Atwell, who was one of the defenders of the year. Carolina, meanwhile, just has a 4-man defensive core unit up top that can move the puck at will. They're so well coached that it doesn't matter who's out there, really. Any defender can move the puck at will. Here's Vartiainen, one of the better puck movers for Port Huron, setting one up in front, and they score! Zulkanic is able to rifle home a one-timer. And there's the setup from the defense. It's Vartiainen at the far side point, is able to move the puck down to the wall, and there's at least one of these a game. A pass from the right wing, feeding a right-handed one-timer in the slot. If you were to play an FPHL simulation drinking game with that particular play, you'd be dead. Every time there's a pass from the wall to a righty in the slot and a score, you'd be sloshed. Here's Pastuca up the right side now. Pastuca turning around, feeds Osaka. He's that right-hander in the slot, but has back to the net. And Port Huron is able to equalize the score. They get the answer they need, and they get it a one-time shot rifled wide. They get it in a timely fashion because you didn't want to have to go too long without solving Pavlos. You want to prove that he is just a man at home. It's a bit like Rocky IV and the first time you make Ivan Drago bleed in the fight in Russia. On the right side, carrying it ahead is Carolina. Pargach on the right wing. Feeds Cangelosi. Blocker save. Paulin. Dalton J. hesitates a moment in the neutral zone. Now makes his way up the ice. Loses the handle on the puck. But there to retrieve is Graham. Out to Young. Long slapper save. Contrato looking for Young again. Young gets around one defender. Dalton J. loops it around the boards. Pursuing and retrieving is Graham. Contrato to Jay. Jay to the slot, Federley. Graham is upended by McIntyre. Ran into a brick wall, and now McIntyre is able to carry it the other way. Grebennikov on the goal line, now behind the net. Forced against the boards, fumbles the puck a moment, still regaining possession. Fate to Grebennikov once more, kicks it down low. Kept alive, Grebennikov. Terrific shift here for Grebennikov as he plays the puck on the perimeter. Carolina keeping it alive. Fate to Vlasov. Fate and Vlasov again playing pitch. A terrific extended shift here for Carolina. Vlasov and Fate. No pressure at all from the Port Huron defense. You'd think they're on the power play. They're slinging the puck around at will. Fate, long slapper, blocked in front. Grebennikov, rebound, glove save, Paulin. And what a stationary defensive shift for Port Huron. Felt like that could have gone on for hours. It's a bit like the old time in basketball before there was a shot clock and you were just able to play the four corners offense, just playing keep away. That's a bit like what that was. There's no shot clock and no one's pressuring you, so there was just Vlasov to Fate to Vlasov to Fate. For a solid minute of play. Or a bit like the Simpsons soccer gag. Center, back to the wing, back to the center. Holds it, holds it, holds it. Panachik, whose name has not been called very much in the early goings of this one. Not too much puck possession. Panachik with an open lane. Shot saved by Paulin on the near side. Panachik had a goal at home in Game 1. And a crease opened up for him. Paulin was hugging that post. The post-hugging animation looks incredibly awkward in this, doesn't it? You look so jumpy. And there's so many holes, too. Vartiainen up to Portillo. Portillo is being sticked from behind by Krivolovic. Sharp angle try by Robertson goes off the side of the net. 6 minutes to go in the second period. Bunn to Salak. Kenny with a bomb redirection. They score! Jan Salak picking up the second chance. It's 2-1 Carolina. Well, this was a long shot by Kenny at the point. It's Bunn who gets a stick on it in front. And I'm not sure this ever reaches Paulin in the first place. It goes off of Bunn and is loose in front. And Jan Salak just has to play garbage man. Picking up the loose trash in front and putting it away. For Salak, that is his 4th goal of the series. And Carolina once more has the lead. And they had to grind the Port Huron defense down to dust in this period in order to get that 2nd goal. Down low, Giuliano, his shot saved. That's been the difference really this entire simulation for Carolina, is that they have players that can get down low and get to the dirty areas like Salak and like Bunn. There's a one-timer that goes high and wide. Sokol. Forced to the boards to Arnott. Feeds the one-timer. Stacking the pads is Pavlos. Was he down completely on his sides, Hasek style on that? They're not going to give us a look at it, but wow, what a save there by Pavlos, looking a bit like Nick Meter. Taking a page from the old-time style of goaltending. Face-off won by Port Huron. Arnott's a pace on the doorstep. Pace holds for a bit too long. Nippard will pick up the puck. Here's Pargach over to Bakor. Pargach looking to the net. Glove save Paulin. Here's Osaka. Skating behind the net. Feeds Cangelosi. Wiring it to Klinitsky. Now flicks it over to Bakor for a one-time shot by Pargach. Loose on the post. And Paulin way out of his net. Reaches behind him to cover the puck. Bit of an awkward sequence there. Here's Graham on the right side. Entering in for Port Huron. Graham has it poked away from him. Knocked out to the neutral zone. Parsons will be offside. And we'll do it with 53.6 seconds to go in the 2nd period. Boy, Winston gets around, doesn't he? Winston is behind the bench now. He's been in the corners. He's been behind the net. He's all over the rink here. It's like playing Where's Waldo. Here's a breakaway chance for Panachik. He scores! Peter Panachik. That'll make Winston happy. Panachik is sprung for the breakaway by Petita. Dekes out Paulin, and it is a 3-1 Carolina lead, and that is a backbreaker. In the final minute of the 2nd period, Carolina is able to give themselves a bit of cushion.
Carolina goal scored by number 12.
And that is a morale killer for Port Huron. Here's a chance down low. They score! Perhaps not. Dalton J with 10.5 to go. Dalton J says, "Shut up, Casey. You're out of your element." That is the kind of pick-me-up Port Huron needed. Graham sends it down low to Dalton J, and J is able to bury it past the leg pads of Pavlos. What a response! Well, just when you think that the Port Huron Prowlers are down and out, they allow a breakaway and 30 seconds to go in the period. You figure that they might hang their heads. There's no quit in this virtual squad.
Assisted by number 51 and by number 36. Hughes finding the goal.
What a turn of events. It is still a 1-goal lead for the Carolina Thunderbirds, but the Port Huron Prowlers will not be dying just yet. They will not go quietly into the night. 20 minutes remains before we crown a Western Division final champion. You're watching the FPHL playoffs on the Under Review YouTube channel. Stay with us for the final 20 minutes. We have one more period to go. Carolina leads 3-2. If they're able to hold the score and hold the line, they will be the Western Division champions for the second year in a row. Port Huron needs at least one to either send this game into extra time or take home the Western Division crown themselves. There's Winston over in the corner. We were just marveling at how Winston gets around, and I was saying it looks like Where's Waldo? Which, I mean, considering how the Port Huron Prowlers sweaters look, you would think that would be more their job. In the final minute of the second period, it was Panachik giving a 2-goal lead to the Carolina Thunderbirds, answered in turn by Dalton J. There's a setup in front that's kicked out by Paulin. Out to retrieve is Paulin. Paulin will send that off the Port Huron bench. What were the physics behind that? How did that puck get there? Bouncing around in front, and it's taken by Graham. Dalton J will carry it ahead, feeds it to Graham, now up to Dalton J, goal scorer in the game. J looking to the net, has it roll off of his stick, and it's taken by Carolina. Now to the high slot. Feeds for the one-timer. That one's covered up by Chris Paulin, and he holds. What a terrific stop. And Paulin will have to be perfect from here on out. He cannot allow Carolina to score but once more. This is the biggest period of the season for Chris Paulin and company. Moroso with a shot trying to pick the sharp angle corner. That one's elbowed away by Pavlos. Bakor up the right wing, intended for a man on the right side, Panachik. He's forced off the puck by by Vartianen. Pavlos keeps it alive. Klinitsky to Osaka on the left wing. Time the enemy of the Port Huron Prowlers. Only 14 minutes to go. Here's Nippard up to Vartianen. Nippard on the right side as a man in front of the net. Here's Arnott. Quick passing. Nippard looking towards the slot, broken up by Kenny. Martin back pass to open space, Klinitsky. Osaka and Klinitsky just playing keep away right now. Carolina has that luxury. They're such a good passing team that they're able to keep the puck away from the defense for as long as they please. Vartianen up the left side.
Connor, the Lightning are one of the best teams in that game.
Fowler. Here's Arnott. Shot, glove saved by Pavlos, and he holds.
You're not going to find a better team.
What is that?
Yeah, he is.
Is that God? Hello? Are we communicating with intelligent life?
You just got to score more.
Oh my goodness. We may have contact with aliens. I hear voices. And for once, I don't think it's because I'm crazy. We may have life forms trying to communicate with us through our screens like in Poltergeist. Yes, I am their leader. We'll see if that works. Cangelosi out to Osaka. Up the right side, here's Bargatch to Osaka. Broken up in front, and Paulin will cover. I feel like I'm in... Oh, what is that? It's not Arrival. It's the other alien Contact. Contact, that's what it is. Where they're like micro-analyzing the one tape. Capable of such beautiful dreams and such horrible nightmares. Quality movie. I like that one. It's one of the better Alien Contact movies. It seems like the universe is just an awful waste of space, doesn't it? Anyway. Grebenikov in the slot tries to pick a corner, sends it high and wide. Delayed penalty coming up against Port Huron, and that's not what they needed. Out to McIntyre. Extended shift for 6-on-4. McIntyre down low. Shot save, Paulin. And there will be a power play coming up for Carolina and a chance to perhaps put this one away. As Arnott gets a stick up high and caught Holt. And a slash will be assessed to number 77. Bunn, Salak, and Panachik will be countered by Portillo and Zulkanic. It's a 3-2 game. Wouldn't Carolina love a power play goal to give them a bit more of a security blanket in the late goings here in the third period? Port Huron will have to kill this off and try to find a way to equalize the score in the final 7 minutes of play as the Thunderbirds enter in offside. Osaka, Krivolovic, and Batida, the second unit out for the Carolina Thunderbirds. Portillo and Zulkanic have seen most of the penalty kill time in this entire series for Port Huron, and they've done a terrific job, especially Portillo, who has won a large number of the face-offs. Pavlos settles it down for Fate in the corner. Fate starts up ice. Sends it to Osaka. That's offside. There's been more offsides in this one power play for Carolina than really there has been the rest of the series. 48 seconds to go in this power play. Dalton Jay wins it back to Young. Back up to Jay, who enters in short-handed. Jay, sharp angle try. Pavlos with a glove save. Had Graham in the slot. Perhaps should have flittered it over to the front of the net, see if you can get a one-timer short-handed. Jay kicks it back to Pace. Out to Young. Short-handed, trying to keep it alive. Young can't handle the puck, and a big hip check thrown by Graham. Now Pace takes a step in, trying to feed Jay in the slot. Jay turns around with the puck. Back to 5-on-5 hockey. To Jay. Knocked off the puck. Young picks it up. Glides to his left. Now Pace. Offsides. Couldn't hold the blue line, was the head coach for the Port Huron Prowlers. And it's getting late early. 6:19 to go. Dominant on the face-off dot have been the Port Huron Prowlers, and they win another one. Joe Pace enters in left side deliberately to Young. Shot blocked in front. Moroso trying to dig it out. It's instead won by the Thunderbirds, and up they come. Meandering to the left is Salak. Feeds Fate. Vlasov. Poked away from him. Krivolovic on the left wing now in the final 5 minutes of play in regulation time. Carolina leads 3-2, trying to go back to the Commissioner's Cup final. Young, high slot, shot, save, Pavlos. That's as good a look as the Prowlers have been able to generate in the third period. Square to the net, Young taking a step in. Terrific stop there by the Carolina netminder. Face-off a beat to his left. Won again by Port Huron. One-time shot redirected in front that went off the body of, I believe, Vlasov. Off the post. Sokol, another try. Pops over the net mouth. Pavlos got a piece of it. Port Huron agonizingly close to sneaking one by the Carolina netminder. Up again, Port Huron racing in, shot saved, picked up Fowler, set up in front Giuliano, his shot, far side, kicked away. Pavlos under siege in the final few minutes here. Port Huron desperately trying to find an equalizing goal. Here's Martin, out in front, Kenny sends it wide. Portillo up now. Another new unit for Port Huron trying to do the job. Sends it down low. Here's Sokol. Final minute of play here in the third period. Carolina trying to hold on for a Commissioner's Cup final berth. Carrying ahead. Sokol has Robertson in front. Paulin to the bench. 45 seconds to go. Sokol to Portillo. Sokol will loop it around roulette style, down low to Robertson. Set up in front. Saved by Pavlos. Rebound out in front is loose. Taken by Robertson. Graham. Portillo again in front. Kick save Pavlos. Graham, once more in front, Sokol glove save. The open areas in front of the net, Pavlos coming up big. 18 seconds. Arnott to Graham, back to Arnott. Vartiainen, long shot blocked in front. Rebound picked up by Pastuca. Loops it around the boards, not out. 7 seconds to go. Arnott over to Vartiainen. They need a shot. Saved by Pavlos. He'll hold with 2 seconds to go. Christian Pavlos, a flurry of saves in the final minute of play. Port Huron had 3 different chances, unencumbered in front of the net with the setup behind the end line, and Pavlos was perfect on all of them. Jay and Osaka will take the final face-off of the Western Division Final. Chipped towards the net, it's sent wide. That'll do it. Carolina going back to the Commissioner's Cup Final. Hanging by a thread, they're able to eliminate the Port Huron Prowlers. 3-2 your final in Game 3. Pavlos, the hero, fends off the oncoming horde. And Carolina has simulated their way to the FPHL Finals, where they await an upstate New York team of choice, be it Watertown or Elmira. We await the results. And a dominant season continues for the Carolina Thunderbirds as they make their way to the final. We'll see you next weekend for the Commissioner's Cup Final here on the Under Review YouTube channel. For all of us who have made this simulation possible, I'm Casey Bryant saying good night and stay healthy. We'll see you next weekend.